Welcome to Six Sigma Online Certifications. We are on the topic Define Phase Project Charter. Let us first try to define what is a project charter. Project charter is a proposal indicating what is required to be done, which will benefit organization, and what are the key resources needed, and hence how much time is needed to achieve that. So basically it is a document of commitment of goals to seek approval from management for the resources needed for the project. So let us try to define each element of the project charter. The first and the most important element is basic project details, where we first identify what we are trying to improve. So in this case, and the example that we have taken, we are trying to reduce the defects that are reaching to the customer. Then we identify which business area it is going to work on, and therefore specific product family and business unit or plant has to be identified. And then who is going to be interested that this project gets done. For example, the person who is responsible for that business, person whose key result area is to improve this, or he considers that this is going to drive his business. Also, the additional information on the project needs to be gathered by the belt so that it creates more excitement in the organization and brings more resources to the project, is if it can be expanded to a larger gain. For example, this product segment is going to double, is moving with the double growth, and therefore everybody knows that it will be a hot cake, and if defect rate continues to be high, it may result into huge loss, or if take curtailed, it may give us benefits. Then we go to the next part of the project and define the business significance of doing this project. So first we identify what project metric we are trying to improve. So the issue that we are going to work on, customer issues related to specific defects. In this case, it is blister. Then we define how we are going to measure this business issue. So in our example, this will be measured by in terms of customer parts per million defects that are reaching to the customer. Presently, they are about 105,430 ppm, which is average of last 6 months, and we want to reduce it to 52,000 ppm. So now our problem is to be written in terms of 3 W's: what, where and when, 1 H, which is how much, and 1 S, which is what is the source of pain. So customer ppm is what, Chennai tire plant is where, and last 6 months average is the period in which we have collected this data, is when. How much is 105,430 ppm is the present performance or baseline data average, whereas what is the source of pain, that company wants it to be 52,000 ppm, and therefore this is the source of pain. We have to define problem very clearly and at the same time understand that the improvement by one single project cannot solve the entire problem, or seldom solves the entire problem. And we have to clearly specify that our project is going to focus on 57% of the problem, and we may not be able to achieve 52,000 ppm only by this project, and therefore more projects are needed. Then we go to the objective part of the charter, in which we clearly identify what we are committing to the organization in terms of specific metric. So first thing that we have to do is to scope down the project using the typical tools that we have discussed earlier, like macro map, tree diagram, Pareto charts, and identify which process and which metric we are going to work on. The metric which belongs to specific process which we want to improve is called as primary metric. the second metric. First metric we discussed about was the business metric. Second metric is primary metric. So for each primary metric, we set what is the present baseline. That means what is the present average. We see what is the best achieved, and we put a target how much we will be achieving in as a part of this project, and give a target date to this. Also, there are possible secondary benefits because of this improvement, which we are presently not focusing, but because we are reducing defects, it may also help in power consumption. Such benefits are called as secondary benefits. Also, as a responsible improvement leader, or I will say an important Six Sigma person, we should also ensure that there are no consequential impact of doing this improvement. So as a responsible belt, we should measure and track consequential metric and ensure there is no negative impact. This is the third metric that a Six Sigma project has, and it is very important, which is called as negative consequence metric or consequential metric. Then based on all these metrics, I calculate how much savings, annualized savings, are going to accrue to the organization. This is called as financial metric. So in total, there are 4 metrics for Six Sigma project: business metric, primary metric, consequential metric, and financial metric. Secondary metrics are usually not tracked. The next part of the project charter is project timeline, in which we have given the duration of these timelines based on our large amount of data that we have, and we actually have averaged of several projects. So typically measure phase takes 20 days, analyze phase 40 days, improve phase 20 days, and control phase 25 days. But if you have anticipated weakness in measurement system, please add up little more time than 20 days in your measure phase. And if your time commitment of expert team, that means the people who are expert of the process, are not easily available, you should add some more days in the analyze phase. If your experimentation on the floor is difficult, costly, or requires shutdown which is not easy to get, please add few more days in your improve phase. If your process documentation is weak or training system is non-existent, you may have to add few more days in your control phase. Finally, we have to take sign off of all the team members seeking their commitment. Process then belt has to sign himself, ensuring that he commits to all the metrics that is taken. Then process owner signs committing that whatever is found out as solution will be implemented. Champion will review and provide resources. Finance representative will track the financial performance, and business head will align the project to business requirements and reward the success. So it is very important for belts to understand here is negotiating for resources and securing commitment and facilitation from top management reviews are the key skill for success of the project. Thank you very much for testing your knowledge on this video, or for Six Sigma certifications, visit our website www.qultima.org.